All right, friends, time for another little recap this morning. Another nice one. Just, what do we have? 4,400 and some change. Yeah. So 4,400 on the day. Let's get into the X calls that I posted here for free. Resistance under 437.45, downside is still clean. So we wanted a continuation under the downside here of 437.45 as I posted this morning, and made a little short target, and the final target for the day was 436. And of course the market never goes in a straight line, so she did a little bit of monster messing around, but my final 2618 fib kind of pushed in Friday, so there is a good chance where the market likes to scam up, they push up and you'll get a short level, which anything under, right, because we're confirmational traders, so anything under 437.45 trending was going to be a good short, right? So I took one of the first scalps for target one and target two. So this was target one, 436.75, which is a volume profile, and this is the first short level obviously I called here. So 437.45 down to 436.75. That netted us pretty much a big chunk, like $3,000+ on the first short. Here's all the P&Ls for the day. No zero red trades, did MNQ, NQ, and ES totaling, and then let's get into the rest of the day here. So as I said, the price action did push up a little bit higher in Qs, but that's very generally normal. You want to short into these measures as well, because if you look at my trade ovate here, which is reset on the day because it's after 5, plow back to the shorts that we had here today. Let's go to a 5-minute, be a little easier to find them. And they don't show the trades after the day. Okay, I learned that today. So trade rate usually shows the trades on there, but now new day, they deleted the trades. No big deal. So let's go over them on TUS. Now, today, again, popped over a little bit of a price, right? So 437.82, 437.66. I had two monster resistances from 2 Fibonacci points, and I wanted to get under those. Now, we had a little bit of a pop through, like I said, to 439 and some change, and that's perfectly fine because the short target was still perfectly hit at 436. This was target 2, and it is trending, and we've been calling for the short here for a little bit. At the top, you can see the weekly is up into the high range, and generally speaking, especially on the third leg up, we've had from the daily chart here, we're going to get a sequence and a cycle up. It comes in threes a lot of the time. So this 1 push, 2 push, 3 push, and this is usually third time's the charm. So when on this tick up, we have a very nice hot and lower high, if you notice on the daily as well. So Q's hot, pulled back, Q's hot, pulled back, lower high RSI, okay? And this is going to cause the bigger pullback for me. Mid-February into March is what we've been calling on the videos. Coming into the dragon year, of course, on the Chinese zodiac. So let's go get our targets here. Now, with that being said, coming back down to the backwards Fibonacci targets are a lot of the reason that I like to use backtesting with Fibonacci points. So because we came all the way to the 2618 and 423.6 on two separate Fibonaccis that were very clean, anytime we are under that Fibonacci, we'll be going to the downside. Now, the 30-minute was already telling us after this hot, we had a beautiful lower high, we had the cross, we had nothing but indecision on the histogram. That is when you get light green and dark green bars right there. And we did not have a bunch of super clean price action, but we followed that through with the big red wave, locked her on down, lots of volume beat through for the continuation. So a lot of really good metrics here to keep everything intact. SPY, obviously, zero difference here. And SPY, we called needed a deviation hit. So this morning I said 502 is my top for the market. Of course, popped up a little bit. It's got to push out the top shorters. I shorted into a lot of this stuff actually. When we were up here, I took a picture so I can show you guys an example of a burn day, because a burn day is usually where it kind of opens and closes near the same spot. It doesn't really get too far outside of the opening and close range because we have CPI tomorrow. We have really big heavy hitter news pieces tomorrow. So we're going to wait for those to come in. For some big moves. We're going to get a burn day where we don't do too much. So when we're just pushing up here, let's grab that picture real quick. So when we had, okay, you guys can see that. When we had the sideways consolidation here, right? I don't know if I'm going to be able to click that and that at the same time. Let's just pin this then. Alrighty, let's do this. All right, so the volume profiles are something I scalp off of a ton of the time, right? 1 minute gives us these tiny scalps, and generally we hit them pretty accurately. We're on like 28, 29 days, perfectly green in the PAs, averaging anywhere from $2,000 to $6,000 a day, and we're doing pretty well on the consistency of just this. when there's a chop day, when something has the ability to go sideways and only sideways, they have volume area high and lows as the points of interest for not getting out of the range. So the algos won't let it outside of volume area high or low during a chop until the big break, usually after 10:30 a.m. Central when the EU algos close down. Now you can see this right here. Anytime above the volume area high in the 1 minute, we were shorting, and anytime below, we were longing. So you can see the orange level right here, and the blue level, that's the volume area high, and obviously the volume area low. So every time we broke over, short, 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 tag, short, and long, 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 and long. So you had a lot of scalps today in the channel just waiting for a premium price level to hit, right? So that was one of the biggest systems that we used today, along with a really big overextension. We had a really big overextension on SPY. We were pushing all the way back up, and we were at all-time highs. So that extension to melt up of all-time highs, perfectly fine. Nice big doji. So all we got to do is open up and cleanly press under the body now for tomorrow. So when we got, where did doji body go? There we go. Clean little low body doji. I like to generally pop a channel where that body is, and then we can pick direction. And now that the Fibonacci's have all been exhausted on Qs and the SPY here, generally we walk ourselves back. So the Fibonacci will walk themselves up 0, 1618, 2618, 4236, and it'll walk itself back down from 4236, 2618, 1618. So we have pushed up to my furthest extension, 2618 here on the SPY, and you can see just that little algo consolidation right on the price level and wash, right at 502. And that was our top for the market today. Again, pushed a little bit past, not a big deal. Wait for it to go back under the level, continue the short. Let's go back to Qs real quick and same thing. And this is what we're going to be doing coming into CPI. If the CPI is the catalyst for the knockdown, or if it just keeps the FOMO rally up, it is what it is. But we're hoping for the knockdown. Okay. So the 423.60 and 261 can back test. So we're going to come down to 432.23 and the 100 fib. So I want to see this thing under 429 coming through the middle of the week here after CPI, if we get the correct CPI numbers for the catalyst for the downside. And if we do, we're going to get a clean shot. We also have really big earnings after hours. You get a big mess of them, huge D-Dog, Spotify, a couple other monsters out there. So if those actually flop too with a CPI, we'll start the curl down. And mid-February to the end of March is what I'm calling for. It's a normal sentiment trade, just like we call the October, August, September downside. Very just regular sentiment. So on this third leg up here, we are looking for that downside, watching the Fibonacci walk down. So again, 2618, we're going to end up at 432.23 and inevitably 429, back testing all the way near that 10. If you want to look at a moving average system with that, we generally look at 10 SMA loops, and we're on the second loop. You've heard me say that during live trading on smaller time frames, with the price action here on the daily, right? Looped, held, pushed, looped. Now we're on a secondary loop from this one on a new trend because we hit higher highs, and generally we will not stay above that 10. We'll actually finally get a correct back down to the 50. I'm looking for anywhere between like 8 to 12%. So I'm sticking to the guns here. We're going to stay most likely under 440 on Qs, and we have an opportunity to target 1 426.47, target 2 420, and all the way back down to 415. Now, if you look at the percentage, that's only 5%. That's a haircut. So into February and March, I think the haircut easily goes 5%. And then the best case scenario is to backtrack some of these monster gaps that this thing has, and at least filling some of the near terms, right? 422.58 would be an easy one because that's in between the 161 and 2618. And then the furthest one is going to be this guy here, and that's under the 100 fib. And this is usually the final target rate, sub 416. And if that breaks down, we go a little bit lower to this gap, and that's going to be the golden pocket of the initial double gap up I used to predict this top on the market. So we had this rollover correct. We played this one correct, remember? So we had a video calling the Q's top right here, had a big leg down. We had a video of calling the top for backside here, and that was all because of the 2618. Now it is extended to the 423.6. Same play. So we're going to get a downside here, leg down, and hopefully come back down to the 1618 and 100, and all the way down to the further one. And this is, again, a big leg down, but a very easy percentage to hit. So from highs, let's go down here. This gap is the one I want to fill the most, 7.28%. So I'm going for 8 to 12%. If we go a little bit lower than that, that's fine. I'll swap back to long near the 50 SMA recoveries or 100 EMA bounces from the daily chart. So those are all your sentiments. We have the RSI, we have the tons of Fibonacci. We have some really good stuff for the rest. And yeah, tune in for the next video and trade safe.